Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas. We are here live for the Usyk versus Fury 2 post-fight show. And I am here live with my man, the professor, Mr. John Raffer. What's up?
How we doing, brother? How we doing?
Doing well. How about you?
Not too bad, bud. Not too bad. In the middle of some last minute errands and Christmas shopping because we're taking the trip to my fiance's parents tomorrow. So
Okay.
gotta get the
I
last minute things done.
hope you got me something nice.
Oh, you know I did. You know I did. Of course.
Perfect, brother. Perfect. Well, hey,
Yeah,
listen.
man.
Before we get into it, we got to hit everybody with the brand new intro video. You know what I'm saying? So,
Let's
Boxing
go.
Bananas brought to you by Five Bananas. Here we go.
Are you ready for the main event?
Two hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time for Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
tight. You did a good job with that, buddy.
You like the A? It's so nice. We had to do it twice.
Are you ready for the main event?
Two hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time for Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We official now. We official. We got our own little intro. We official.
So official and needs is a whistle. You know what I mean? So,
That's what I'm
nah,
saying.
the best part was that 1-2 from the professor.
Oh, you chopped it up real well. You made me look good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, hey, it's not hard for me to make you look good, you know. I should have just put the whole thing as your highlight reel, you know.
Nah.
But yeah, man. Hey, for those listening, comment below to let us know what you thought about the fight. Obviously, we're talking about the Usyk versus Fury 2. This is the post-fight show and what just went down in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Obviously, as you can see my background, I'm here live in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Of course. But let me
Nice,
know what
nice.
y'all thought. Let me know about what you thought about, the decision, the scorecards, whatnot. And while y'all do that, John, what'd you think? Did you catch the fight? What'd you
I
think?
caught rounds. I was picking up some, like I said, running some errands. I caught rounds fully 8 through 12, and from the commentating, from watching a little bit of the earlier scorecards and things like that, and just feeling the flow that I saw from those rounds, I did have Usyk winning the majority of those rounds, 8 through 12. I probably had it. I think that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5. I had it easily, probably 4-1 Usyk in those rounds. Maybe 3-2, but most likely I'm pretty sure when I was counting it, live, I was like, okay, that's another one for Usyk. I had it pretty much 4-1 in that. So if he won the majority or any kind of close in the first 7, I do see it going the way that the scorecards kind of gave it. You know what I mean? He was pushing the big man back for a while. I think Fury finally realized he needed to let his hands go in the later rounds. It just wasn't quite enough.
No, for sure. It's hard to do it's hard to do against a guy with in Usyk. You know what I mean? So real quick, I'm gonna show me and Johan's unofficial scorecards right here. These are our unofficial scorecards on the screen. Any round up here that has an asterisk is going to be a swing round. So obviously, I mean, I could have put almost every round with an asterisk, to be honest, because it was just that
Yeah.
kind of fight. But it was one of those where obviously Johan had a few of the swing rounds. We had differentiating rounds in some of them, which is fine. And even I haven't seen the official judges scorecards, but even Frank Warren, when he was looking at it in the ring, was saying that even the judges had different rounds that they had scored different ways, but they all came to the same conclusion,
Yeah.
which was 8-4, 116, 112. Excuse me, which is what I had. I would like to
Hmm.
see what the judges' official scorecards were so that I can kind of see, like, all right, was I on track with kind of the same rounds as at least some of the judges, or was I totally off, but somehow came to the same decision? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, I had it totally right, but then the official judges might have had it a completely different way. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was our unofficial scorecards for Boxing Bananas, and pretty much right on the money. If you were to take Johan's unofficial rounds, like his round number 2, and flip it the other way, then you would have got the same way, even though I had scored it the same as him in that one. He had given some extra rounds to Fury, but for the most part, like in this one, I was looking at some of the comments underneath the DAZN boxing Instagram, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people were like, "Yeah, this was no robbery. Usyk is just that guy." Pretty much like the top 20 comments that I had just scrolled through really quickly were all pretty much unanimous for Usyk, and then one of them was really funny. That was like, "Dude, get Dubois out of the ring."
Mm-hmm.
Chris J
That's
chiming in.
funny.
I had 116, 112 for Usyk as well. Yeah, so
Yeah, I can see it going that way pretty much for everybody. I think your scorecard's about right. I mean, I can see Johan's point, but it looks to me like when you're looking at the differential rounds, it's 4 through 8 that you are different, and everything else seems pretty close.
yeah, exactly. So and that's where even I was like, dude, I'm not married to the scorecard because the rounds are so close. Like it was like in the first fight, I felt like the first couple of rounds were close, and then it was Fury really taking away the middle rounds, and then after 8, Usyk kind of ran away with it. Where this fight was pretty close throughout every round. A lot. I mean, some of the rounds were more decisive than others, but there was a lot more closer rounds in this fight. But I just felt Usyk did the better work. Fury came in a lot heavier, and for previous fights, and for this one, people were saying that it's so that Fury could utilize his size, which is essentially his best weapon, besides
Mm-hmm.
movement, being a bigger guy, and his reach, and yeah, I mean his size is pretty much just a cheat code when it comes
Yeah.
to fighting, but being able to like lean on somebody and wear somebody down with that size like he did to Wilder. But I don't know if that's the right game plan going into this because Usyk is such an elusive dude that he wasn't really able to utilize the clinch and start trying to use his weight until those later rounds as it was. I know you didn't really get the chance to see the beginning rounds, but Usyk isn't a guy that you can just kind of grab and
Mm-mm.
you know what I mean? Usyk is all over the place. Like he's bouncing around. Even though Fury in the lead up of the first fight that he looked like a rabbit, I mean his fighting style is kind of like a rabbit. He's like bouncing in and out. He's all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he snakes out of the clinch. You see how he drops down low. He tries to limp arm out. He does a lot of things to not let you be able to grab him and clinch him and stuff like that. And then when only on his terms, he only wants it on his terms, which is it makes sense. And he's very, like you said, very elusive. Very his movement in and out keeps it busy. And to back him up in the majority of the rounds, from what the early rounds, from what I was hearing from the commentary was he was still backing him up in most of the majority of the fight. And if he's doing that to the bigger man, if you don't get a chance to put your weight on him and slow him down, you're in for a long day because you're just going to keep going backwards at some point. And he did a good job throwing the looping right hook to the looping left hand, and then peppering and hitting the body a lot and starting his combos low, then going high. And I thought he timed a good couple clean straight lefts, rolling his head off the center line and hitting it as Fury would come in, and really kind of stagnated, any momentum Fury was building in those later rounds when he was trying to let his hands go.
He's
He would
really
catch
good
him
at
cleaning
that,
up.
like being able to come off the center line with those shots, right?
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. And that just natural footwork of him being a southpaw and his in and out footwork that you see, he has that Lomachenko-esque footwork because they come from the same camp, but he uses it as a big man, so it's not as like fancy looking as like Loma would do. But he turns those angles well. He gets his feet to the position he needs to, so his head is off the center line, and he just understands his game plan and the way he plays it better than anybody else.
Yeah, especially because he's a southpaw, so he's for the most part he's typically in a southpaw versus orthodox, foot battle, and he's always you could tell he's always looking for that advantage in the foot placement,
Always, always, and just
and
keeping you off a
with
rhythm.
yeah he keeps you off a rhythm. He does. I would say like at least three, probably a lot more than three, but at least three that I could just name off the top of my head. Things that he does really well in the sense that if he's fighting you in the open stance, which is the southpaw versus orthodox, he is always finding a way to get his foot on the outside of yours. He's well, the way he almost hypnotizes you with that front hand. He's always trying to win the front hand battle. And then forgot the last one that I was gonna say after the three, but just what was the last thing that
I
you had
think
said?
I think it's his broken rhythm and how he keeps you
The
off
rhythm,
of
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's the rhythm. So he's always like feinting, like doing something, keeping your front hand occupied, doing this. You don't know if he's going to throw a jab. You don't know if he's going to throw a hook. You don't know if he's going to feint the jab, throw a hook, throw the two down the middle because he's already like he's occupying you with feints. He's occupying you with this, the front hand battle, and then meanwhile he's constantly moving, so he's keeping that front foot on the outside to the point where you're having to worry about his feints, you're having to worry about the front hand battle, you're having to worry about the foot battle, you're having to worry about so much in front of this guy that it's like tell me not, bro. As somebody who's been in there, that in itself, like there could be zero punches thrown. That in itself is exhausting to have to try to
Hmm.
keep up with mentally as a fighter.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the beauty of his game, right? That's absolutely just his essence as a fighter. He gets you overly thinking, overly. Now you have to make adjustments. You have to do these things, and it's just overly exhausting having to calculate all those things over and over and over and over again in a ring, and while getting punched in the face. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Constantly, because he's gonna land shots. He's gonna change up his rhythm with that. It's just it's crazy.
Yeah, we got a comment coming in from my man Munoz saying, "Gotta give it to Usyk. Props on being the much smaller in size and weight. Much credit. What a warrior." That's the other thing too, bro. To be able to do all of that as the much undersized guy, as the smaller guy, like like I said at the beginning, Fury. It's almost like a cheat code. The fact that his size, his reach, and that he can move so well with all of that, and having to come into the ring with those disadvantages because we saw in the first fight because Usyk was shorter, smaller, Fury in those middle rounds was able to just walk him into the uppercut. Walk him into that rear
Hmm.
uppercut. And especially from the open stance, if you lean into that inside, boom, that rear uppercut's right there all day. So it makes the win even more impressive for Usyk, and it really just shows how skillful this guy is. If this guy doesn't go down as one of the best of all time, then people just really aren't analyzing the full spectrum of everything. I mean, look at his wins, bro. He's got 2 wins over Anthony
Yeah.
Joshua. First of all, before he even went to heavyweight, right? Undisputed cruiserweight champion. Then he's got 2 wins over Anthony Joshua.
He's
A win
Olympic
over
champion too.
Olympic champion, exactly. Olympic gold medalist in the amateurs, undisputed cruiserweight champion. Then he goes on to heavyweight, has a couple fights at heavyweight, beats Anthony Joshua again, then beats Daniel Dubois, in which at the time it was kind of like, all right, it was a mandatory fight, but now that win has really marinated well. It's really aged like wine compared to where some of them age like milk. That
Yeah,
that
sure.
yeah, some people's wins are like, oh, that was great, and then it ages like milk, especially in MMA. But that's a little bit
Yeah.
different
Oh, for
because
sure, for sure.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that win against Dubois really aged like wine, and then he goes and beats Fury, wins undisputed at heavyweight as an undersized guy and then beats Fury again. Now Dubois has, beat Hrgovic, beat Joshua, both in stoppage wins within 6 on both of them, right?
Yep.
Or maybe he stopped Hrgovic in 7, or did he stop him in 6? I don't remember. But stop both of those guys, before the third act of the fight. And
Yes.
my question to you is, do you want to see a rematch with Dubois and Usyk? And also, do you feel it's necessary?
I don't feel it's necessary in any kind of ways. First pause is going to be my phone is on an immediate countdown to like 0%. So if this thing goes dark on you, if it's not the car light again, it's my phone. I love everybody. I hope everybody has a fantastic holiday season, and I'll be on the next show, but I won't make it for the rest of this one if it dies on me. So I
That's all
apologize.
right.
But
That's all right.
yeah. But no, I don't think it's mandatory because he did finish him, right? He finished him and he did it on his way to this. I actually think this might be the end of Usyk. I don't see anything else he needs to accomplish. His buddy Lomo just, walked away for the most part. I could see him with everything going on still in his country and stuff like that, kind of walking away from this fight, being the last hoorah. Who else is in there for him to prove himself against? I don't really think there is anybody. And he can pretty much walk away and go down to me as one of the greatest heavyweights ever for sure. I mean, I will always, if he doesn't get his credit, he will go down as the most underrated greatest heavyweight ever. I'll tell you that much because he's just phenomenal. But it's not mandatory. If he wants to take that fight, I think he wins it. I mean, I'm not counting Daniel Dubois out anymore, but I think he wins it. I think his style just it's just too tough.
No, for sure. And to give credit to Daniel Dubois, when he fought against Joyce and I guess even against Usyk, like, we forget that Daniel Dubois is still a young guy. Like, I think when he fought Joyce, he was like 21, 22. Usyk, I think he was like 24, 25. You know what I mean? So now he's really
He's
like
only 28 right now, right?
yeah, he's like aging into his prime. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's one of those where, like, we've really seen him develop. So now that he's won the IBF title, are you still there? Or did I lose you? I might have lost the professor. He might have just his phone might have died, like he was saying. But to finish my point, in case he comes back, Daniel Dubois might be going straight into his athletic prime right now. Daniel Dubois might be that guy who is really getting there. And for Usyk, he's probably like, look, it wasn't that difficult of a fight the first time. Personally, there is the, I guess, controversy of the first fight where people were saying like, oh, he was TKO'd. That wasn't a low blow. But I brought it up on this show before. I'll bring it up again. The issue is, if it was like this, I would have felt like it was on the belt line. But the punch was like this. So you have to go from where the knuckles are. They're on the bottom. That was underneath. Excuse me. And the way that he reacted to it, I thought, I thought he didn't go down like somebody who went down from a body shot. I thought he went down from somebody who got hit in the nuts or from a low blow. You know what I mean? Munoz says, what do you think is next for Fury? I think you have to do an AJ fight. Like, that fight, I think, still sells. AJ versus Fury at Wembley. I think it still sells, bro. Probably not as much as it would have in 2021, but I think it still sells it out, to be honest. I think that fight still sells pretty well. Yeah. So Yeah, everybody, let me know what your thoughts are. Again, the unofficial scorecards, I had it 116, 112. Um, and I guess I had it the same as the judges, but what were y'all scorecards? I know Chris J said he had a 116, 112 for Usyk. I'm interested to see what the actual judges scorecards were. If anybody has the actual judges scorecards, shoot that in the chat because I want to see if I was at least close on the rounds, or if I was totally off. Munoz says great fight. I had it closer, but I still had Usyk. So what'd you have? You had it the same as Johan, 115, 113. I don't think that's a bad scorecard either. You know what I mean? I had round 5 a swing round, which I feel like there was other rounds that could have been swing rounds. You know what I mean? I just kind of put that one with the asterisk because I didn't want to put every round as a swing round, But some fights, dude, to be honest with you, some fights I feel like I have like half of the rounds with an asterisk because it's subjective. You know what I mean? Yes, on the 115, 113. No, I feel you 100%. Like that's the way it is. But to your question earlier, you said, what do you think is next for Fury? I think the main thing is the AJ fight. I think the AJ's fight still sells. I think it sells out in Wembley. You can still do a Riyadh season fight in Wembley with AJ versus Fury. And I think for both of them, that's the biggest fight out there. You know what I mean? Because both of them have now lost to Usyk twice. They're both not getting the Dubois fight. I mean, AJ just had the Dubois fight. They could talk about doing a rematch, but why? You got stopped, you know? And what did he get dropped in the first round? Like, I don't think the fight was relatively close, which is crazy because I'm on record on the show talking about how, oh, Anthony Joshua is looking so good. Not even just the Fury or the Ngannou fight, because Ngannou's fight was kind of like, all right, that was what Fury was supposed to do. But against what's his face? The Nordic Nightmare, like he looked good, knocked him out, and then I mean against what's his face? The guy who fought um why can't I remember anybody's names right now? The first fight that he had back, it was on April Fool's Day of 2023. Franklin, he looked like shit. Franklin, I was saying after the Franklin fight, I was like book Ngannou versus AJ, and Ngannou wins. That's what I was saying. That was before Ngannou even fought Fury. I was like, book that fight. Ngannou wins that fight. But then he got Ben Davison as a trainer after he had beaten Nordic Nightmare. Then he fights Otto Wallin, obliterates him. Then he obliterates Ngannou, which, to be fair, I had heard from Ngannou that they played all sorts of shenanigans on him, which is just boxing 101. Like when you're the A side, you could do whatever you want. They had Ngannou show up at 10:30, had him warming up. Ngannou didn't even fight until like 2:30 a.m. And then he said basically he came in, he was sluggish, he was tired, stuff like that. But the main issue was that Ngannou tried to switch southpaw, and then AJ was like, I know exactly what to do. Boom, right hand down the pipe. Foot on the outside, right hand on the pipe. It like barely touched him and dropped him. And then from there, it was like the fight was over. You know what I mean? Which was something that he was doing against Fury. And Ngannou was switching southpaw against Fury, and I didn't like it. In that fight, I was screaming at the TV, like, get out of southpaw. But Fury wasn't capitalizing on it. And I think it was because he had already gotten dropped in that third round. So he was like, all right, I respect this guy too much. Where AJ kind of went in and was like, all right, I'm not respecting this guy at all. And then boom, came in with the power shots. So I don't know what AJ's problem was against Dubois, but yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, what did y'all think? What did y'all think about this fight? Like I said, I had it scored 118 or 116, 112. I thought this fight was a lot closer as far as not on the scorecards, but just the in between rounds. Like Fury definitely did better. It's hard to say because Fury did do better in individual rounds, but in the first fight, like I felt like in those middle rounds, he could have probably stopped Usyk, but Usyk adjusted mid-fight. So it's definitely hard to say. I mean, the heavyweight division right now is on fire. I'll just put it that way. Heavyweight division. I wish I could bring up the Ring Magazine rankings, but the Ring Magazine is basically under development right now um since His Excellency had bought it out. I guess they're redoing it all. You know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. I think some other peeps were supposed to hop in, but if nobody's hopping in right now, let me know. Let me know. Anybody, what's your thoughts? What are your comments on this fight that just went down? What do y'all think just happened? Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I think we got scorecards. Scorecards from DAZN. Scorecards from DAZN. Okay. Damn. How do I reference this? So on two of the judges, they gave the first round to Usyk. No. Two of them they gave it to Fury. One of them they gave to Usyk. Then they gave Fury. Damn, I'm tripping. All right. First round, two of them gave to. It was 2-1 first round. 3-0 second round. Usyk. Nope. 2-1 the opposite way for Usyk. And then, damn, hold on a second. Let me see if I can reference this at the same time. Oh, I haven't been sharing it. I'm tripping. It's just my face. Sorry, guys. It's my first time ever streaming, apparently. Let's see. I wonder if I can share my screen where it's both mine and hold on a second. I'll put this on the side and put this here. Okay. I'm going to look at it like this, right? So the judges had it. So me and Johan both scored the first round for Usyk. And for the judges, two of them had it for Fury. So we were wrong on two of the judges. The second round, we both had it for Fury. Two of the judges scored it for Usyk. One of them scored it for Fury. The third round, two of them scored it for Usyk. One of them scored it for Fury. Third round, I scored it for Fury. Johan scored it for Usyk. Yeah, so these first couple rounds were all over the place between the judges, our scorecards. The fourth round, I scored it for Usyk. Johan scored it for Fury. All of the judges scored it for Fury. Fifth round, all of the judges scored it for Fury. I scored it for Fury. Johan scored it for Usyk. These scorecards are all over the place. I had that one as a swing round. Round 6, they scored it for Usyk. We scored it for Usyk. Okay. Round 7, Johan had it as a swing round. We both scored it for Usyk. Round 7, all three judges scored it for Usyk. Round 8, we both had it for Fury. All three judges scored it for Usyk. Wow, so we were off on that. Round 9, we both scored it for Fury. And then one judge scored it for Usyk or for Fury. The other two judges scored it for Usyk. The 10th round, we both scored it for Fury. All 3 judges scored it for Usyk. And then 11 and 12, we both scored it for Usyk. The judges all scored it for Usyk except Martinez scored the 12th round for Fury. So somehow the rounds were all over the place, but they all came to the same decision in 116, 112, which is the same one I had, which was still all over the place. But yeah, dude, these scorecards were all over the place. The fact that the scorecards were all over this is one of the first times I've seen in boxing where the scorecards are all over the place and then still somehow the math ends up being the same. Because if you look at our unofficial scorecards, like some of our rounds were all over the place. Johan had it 115, 113, but if you switch up his round 2, then he would have scored it the same. But if you look at the unofficial or the official round 2, all the judges except for one had it for Usyk, which I guess was where Johan had it different. And had he scored it like that, but yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. All the judges, yeah, like I said, the judging was all over the place, all over the place in this fight, but still somehow the decision ended up being the same. So yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all's scorecard was. Let me know what y'all's scorecard was. Let me know what y'all's thoughts on the fight was. Who do you want to see against Usyk next? Who do you want to see against Fury next? Because at this point, yeah, at this point, it's like I don't know if there's anybody else for Usyk to fight besides Dubois. You know, I was saying during the fight, like before the fight started, there was what's his face? Klitschko was trying to make a comeback, but I don't know if he's gonna even win. If I was saying if Usyk wins this fight and Klitschko somehow wins his fight, Usyk can maybe fight Klitschko, do some sort of like Ukraine versus Ukraine fight in Poland, and then they do a like that's his just send off fight. But I mean, at this point, there's probably big money in the Turkey Al Sheikh is probably going to pay big money to see him rematch Dubois because I think their first fight was in Poland, if I'm not wrong. Let me look that one up. Usyk box rec. While I look that up, we can see Usyk box rec. Yeah, I think their first fight was in Poland, but I want to say, dude, if that's correct, then I don't even know why I know that. Dubois, they fought in Poland. I took the hunt in Poland. Yeah, so they fought in Poland. They could probably fight in not Dubois versus Usyk too, but I'm talking about Usyk versus what's his face, whatever, Klitschko in Poland. If Klitschko somehow wins a comeback fight, and that'll be just such an easy fight for Usyk. He can go out there and beat the shit out of Klitschko, 42-year-old Klitschko, and then just call it a day. You know what I mean? All Klitschko needs is one win to just be like, oh, I'm back in the mix. And even from there, like, I mean, the heavyweight division, there's so many players in there that it's hard to say that there's one guy. But also, here's the thing too: Dubois has to get through Joseph Parker. Let me see. Dubois versus Parker. Is that fight official? Dubois versus Parker. Is that on the undercard of Betterby versus Bivol? Dude, if it is, it is. Dubois versus Parker is in February on the undercard. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Real quick. Look at this. Look at this. So the Betterby versus Bivol rematch, February 22nd. Dubois versus Parker. Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Sheffield. To be honest with you, bro, I've talked about it on this podcast so many times, but I have given this guy. Hold on. I've given this guy, Shakur Stevenson, so many chances, bro. So many chances to try and impress me. And he used to impress me back when he was like coming up, but now he's just so lame to the point where like everybody just falls asleep during his fights that it's like why would I even be? Everyone's like, oh, Stevenson, he's so good. Trash. This guy is trash garbage. Let's see. We got Buatsi versus Smith. Zhang versus Caballel. That could be a good fight. Zhang is good. Caballel's legit. Caballel's on the come up. He just stopped Sanchez. Ortiz versus Madrimov is a great fight. Adames versus Shiraz. Hamza Shiraz. That's tough for the WBC middleweight championship. That's going to be solid. But then Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield. We'll see. We'll see if Stevenson can impress me, but I freaking doubt it, bro. I doubt it. If he puts on another stinker, dude, I've already said before, like if Stevenson puts on another stinker, then he's done. And then he did. And then somehow he gets signed by Matchroom. I guess they're saying like, oh, you know, they see something in him. I don't see it. I don't see it, bro. The guy every single time he fights lowers his market, like his market value. The guy's trash. But yeah, Daniel Dubois has to get through Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's shown that he's been better and better and better. I would give that fight to Daniel Dubois. And if Daniel Dubois beats Joseph Parker, then that's just going to elevate. And especially if he could stop Joseph Parker. If he could stop Joseph Parker coming off of a win against Wilder and Big Bang Zhang after getting dropped twice, then that's going to elevate Dubois even more. If he stops him too, Dubois coming off of 3 stoppage victories against top guys in the heavyweight division, bro, then it's going to be like, that's where you're like, okay, the Usyk rematch is warranted. But before that, when they were like, oh, he should rematch Usyk, I'm like, psych. Get out of town. You know what I mean? But do y'all got any thoughts about this? If not, then I'm going to go enjoy my Saturday. You feel me? What fights are y'all looking forward to? If any, we out here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? There were some other fights on the undercard like that Allen versus what's his face? Fisher. That was a robbery. That was garbage, bro. What the hell? I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it and see what's up. But I thought that was a robbery. I thought that was baloney. BOLOGNA. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, comment below. What do y'all think? If not, I'm gonna just sit here like this.
Are you ready for the main event?
2 hits. They hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time for Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas.
What do y'all think of the new intro video? You know what I mean? I made it. I made it yesterday.
Are you ready for the main event?
2 hits. They hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time for Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas.
One more time. But nah, solid fight. Solid. I don't know why the hell that fight was $40 on top of a DAZN subscription. What happened to $20 pay-per-views from freaking Turkey? Is that after the new year? Let me look that up. $20 pay-per-view boxing. $20 pay-per-view. I'll share my screen. Hold on a second. Share screen. Let's check this out. $20 pay-per-view. Price, whatever. He's saying it's supposed to be $20 pay-per-view. How much is the Dubois? It was $20. $50 per match. Yeah, whatever. $20. Turkey on the shake. His Excellency has announced plan to reduce pay-per-view fights, combat illegal streaming. But when? When? Because this one was $40. When is that going to be? Or is he just chatting shit? Hopefully this is Come on now. This is September. $20 around the world. A stream of big fight instead of paying someone as high as $90 in the US. 25 and 70, blah, blah. Per view. Daniel Dubois versus Joshua was $20. I remember that. I was like, oh, this is great. And now this one was $40. What the hell? Somebody needs to ask him about that. What's going on over here? So, yeah. Anyways, I think.
Are you ready for the main event?
2 hits. They hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time for Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas.